Let's start our video. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos. Now let's come toward introduction. The era of fast passenger travel came to a sudden end on July 25, 2000, when Air France Flight 4590 was involved in a terrible disaster that marked a terrible turning point in aviation history. The historic Concorde, a plane known for its speed, luxury, and innovative design, was involved in only one fatal crash. The Concorde, which transported people between Europe and North America at previously unheard-of speeds, was a representation of technological innovation and global cooperation for more than 20 years. However, this one instance brought to light serious flaws that had previously gone mostly unnoticed. Here, we examine the circumstances leading up to the disaster, the subsequent investigations, and how this catastrophe changed the aviation industry. The final flight of Air France, Flight 4590. The destination of Air France, Flight 4590, which was founded, was John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. None of the passengers could have predicted the terrible events that would occur as they boarded the Concorde that day. Disaster struck shortly after takeoff from Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport. As the Concorde started its takeoff roll, a piece of scrap metal that had fallen onto the runway from an earlier aircraft broke one of its tires. Debris from the broken tire flew toward the aircraft's fuel tank, which burst due to the high-speed hit, starting a fire on the left side of the aircraft. The unstoppable chain of events. In the moments following the tire rupture, the sequence of events unfolded rapidly. The rupture in the fuel tank caused a trail of flames to follow the plane as it continued down the runway. By the time the pilots realized the severity of the situation, the Concorde was already past the point of no return, too fast to abort the takeoff, yet too compromised to gain proper altitude. With the left engine severely impacted and the aircraft struggling to stay in the air, the pilots did all they could to stabilize the flight. Tragically, just 2 minutes after takeoff, the aircraft lost control and crashed into a hotel near the airport, claiming the lives of all 109 people on board, as well as 4 people on the ground. The impact of the Concorde crash. The shockwaves of this crash were felt across the globe. The Concorde had been an emblem of aviation excellence and was considered one of the safest planes in the world. With only about a dozen Concordes in operation, and with over 2 decades of near-flawless service, the accident came as a profound blow to those who believed in the future of supersonic travel. The incident shattered public confidence in the Concorde's safety, and it cast doubts on the feasibility of maintaining such a unique, expensive, and high-risk operation in an increasingly cost-sensitive airline industry. The investigation and findings. Following the crash, a detailed investigation ensued to uncover the precise causes of the accident. French authorities worked with aviation safety experts, including representatives from Air France, British Airways, and the Concorde's manufacturers, to examine every detail of the incident. Investigators discovered that the small metal strip found on the runway had fallen from a Continental Airlines DC-10 that had departed just minutes before the Concorde. This debris punctured the Concorde's tire, leading to the explosive chain reaction that ultimately brought down the plane. The investigation also revealed that the Concorde's fuel tanks were highly vulnerable to damage from high-speed tire blowouts, an oversight that had gone unaddressed due to the aircraft's unique design and limited operational history. The immediate aftermath and response. In response to these findings, aviation authorities grounded all Concordes to implement new safety modifications aimed at preventing similar accidents. Engineers reinforced the Concorde's fuel tanks and upgraded the landing gear to reduce the risk of damage from tire blowouts. However, the public's faith in supersonic travel had been irreparably damaged, and the airline industry was facing economic challenges that made the Concorde's high operating costs increasingly difficult to justify. This accident also prompted significant changes in runway safety protocols. Airports were required to increase the frequency and rigor of runway inspections to ensure that foreign object debris, FOD, such as the small metal strip that caused the crash, would be detected and removed before takeoff. Additionally, airlines were encouraged to adopt stricter maintenance protocols to prevent debris from falling off aircraft during takeoff or landing. The end of the Concorde era. Despite the safety modifications and renewed commitment to maintaining high operational standards, the Concorde never fully recovered from the reputational damage of the crash. Passenger numbers declined, and both Air France and British Airways, the only airlines operating Concorde at the time, faced increasing costs to keep the aging fleet airworthy. By 2003, the Concorde was officially retired, marking the end of an era in supersonic passenger travel. The retirement of the Concorde left a void in the aviation industry. For decades, it had represented a bold vision of the future, a world in which passengers could cross the Atlantic in under 4 hours, bridging continents with unprecedented speed. But as aviation shifted toward greater fuel efficiency, affordability, and reliability, the vision of supersonic commercial flight faded, giving way to more practical wide-body jets like the Boeing 747 and Airbus A380. In many ways, the Concorde was ahead of its time, a marvel of engineering that couldn't quite fit into the economic realities of modern air travel. The legacy of Air France. Flight 4590A. Dark warning of the dangers of pushing the limits of technology is provided by the accident of Air France Flight 4590. The disaster demonstrated the dangers that can occur when safety and design goals do not change in tandem with operational realities, even if the Concorde was an engineering marvel and an evidence to human creativity. With new materials, design guidelines, and safety procedures to reduce the likelihood of reoccurring disasters, aircraft safety has significantly improved in the years afterward. The aviation community is still affected by the story of Air France Flight 4590 today. It has served as a crucial case study for engineering and safety regulations, highlighting the significance of ongoing innovation. The Concorde's story, and particularly the events surrounding Flight 4590, have also fueled ongoing interest in the future of supersonic travel, inspiring new designs that aim to address the limitations of their predecessors while striving to bring back the dream of ultra-fast, long-distance flights.